Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode on the Rachel Varga podcast. This is going to be a pretty fun, kind of feminine, masculine. We're going to talk a little bit about, law of attraction and manifesting. How can we attract and manifest more beauty and radiance in our lives? Who does not want more of that? So we're going to talk about how to be magnetically beautiful in life, in business, and of course in play. And how can we manifest more beauty and radiance? And today's guest is one of my dear friends. I've been working with Stefi Lane for a number of years now, and she's become a very good friend of mine, client. We help each other out. And before we get into today's episode, I would love it if you would go ahead and subscribe and follow the @Rachel Varga official Facebook page, YouTube channel, and on Instagram. And also be sure to hit the bell on YouTube so that you know when new episodes are dropped. And you can hang out with me at rachelvarga.ca, where you can book your one-on-one session with me. And I can help you figure out how to increase your beauty and radiance through various at-home and in-clinic options to revitalize your skin, rejuvenate your skin, and help you look after only the largest organ of your entire body. And also, the other stuff that really will help you radiate beauty from the inside out. So let me tell you a little bit about my dear friend, Stefi Lane. As a mentor, entrepreneur, wife, healer, world traveler, and marketing nerd, Steph's expertise has woven between various fields, quantum growths, as well as teachable setbacks. But it was the path of online business and marketing that kept inviting her back and uncovered that an abundant business is a catalyst for an abundant life. It was also the path of business that showed her the true leadership is both. It's also kind of in that soft and wild state. And we're going to talk a little bit about masculine, feminine, balancing things out with getting ish done and all that cool stuff. So welcome, my dear friend, Stefi Lane. How are you?
I'm so good. I always love being in your presence. Hello.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. And there's a lot of lovely souls hopping on live. So be sure to leave your questions about manifesting beauty and radiance in your lives in the comment section. And yes, I do read every comment. And if you're catching the replay, do #replay, and I will definitely answer your questions there. So we've known each other for a couple of years, and we had a really cool way and chance of meeting. Was it chance? Maybe not.
It was vibrational chance. I remember you were standing to the left of me, and I felt your radiance, and then perhaps you felt my radiance, and then we just started having a conversation, and we were at Rebecca Campbell's event, and it was so magical. Did we sit by each other at that event?
We sat close by, but we met actually at the VIP moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because we have been working with Rebecca Campbell. If you don't know who she is, she's an Australian UK author. She's also a Hay House author. I'm manifesting having her on the show as well. And to be completely honest with you, her 2 books, Light is the New Black and Rise Sister Rise, were actually the 2 very pivotal books in my kind of like growth phase as a woman and as an entrepreneur. And that's how we met. And yeah, absolutely, just vibrational match. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we were a vibrational match, and we just got along. I think we followed each other on the gram or something. And I told you I was coming to Canada, and I met you in Canada, and we had the most divine time together. We hung out a few times in Canada and in British Columbia, where Rachel lives. And it was just stunning. It was so much fun. It was such a divine feminine time when we got to spend together.
Absolutely. And actually, you were one of my first guests on the show. You can go back.
Old school.
Literally, I think one of the first 10 guests I ever had on the show. We were recording in my like converted little yoga studio. And then I would go to San Diego quite a bit for teaching and conferences. I taught a number of aesthetic nurses and physicians down there, because there's a lot of clinics in California. And we would always hang out. We got some tacos. We rode around causing a ruckus on those scooters. We had a good time.
Oh yeah, we had a good time. That was so fun. Oh yeah, we did that. Oh, it was so magical. I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a pleasure to hang out. All right, so let's just dive into the questions, shall we?
Yeah.
How can we attract more beauty and radiance into our lives? I mean, who doesn't want to be more beautiful and radiant?
Well, I love this about you. A little backstory. When I first met you in Canada, I remember you telling me a story, and you were telling me, I'm probably going to butcher the story, but you were telling me how, like, if you look at a beautiful piece of painting or you look at a beautiful scenery, like the beauty just inspires you, and it's magnetic, and it's really poetic. And you really inspired me when you said that, because I'm a Scorpio sun and a Leo rising, and I'm all about that beauty, that luxury, that sensualness. And for a really long time, I wouldn't allow myself to have that beauty because I felt like it was superficial, or it wasn't enough, or I needed to spend a bunch of money on things. But really, beauty was such a simple thing. So you were such a reminder of that. You are a reminder that the beauty is what really connects you with yourself. And so how I can be more beautiful and attract more beauty and radiance is honestly asking yourself what you want and what you desire. And you really unlocked that for me. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much for giving me credit for that. Because honestly, that is something that I kind of clued into a number of years ago. How can we kind of raise our vibration, raise our frequency? And one of the ways that I do that is to go outside, just appreciate the beauty of the flower around me. One of my long time, over 10-year teachers actually taught me this, to really do what I can when I'm out in nature to connect to the different minerals, earths, ores, plants, and things like that. And I'm reading a book right now, The Mists of Avalon. And it's talking about, how people lived around the time of King Arthur's time. And the book just called out to me. It had like a woman holding a sword on a horse with like a swan next to her. I'm like, I need that book because that cover is just red. And I'm glad that you've taken that into your life. And I really feel like when we focus on beauty and radiance, it's like attract like, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's just like manifestation 101. When you spend your time and attention on something like beauty and radiance, you are literally going to exude a little bit more of that. So what are some of the other ways that you like to attract beauty and radiance into your life? Maybe things like luxury.
Yeah. So that's something I admit to myself, that I was like, I actually like luxury. This is the thing. I traveled the world for the last 2.5 years. That's how I got to meet Rachel. And I realized that I love luxury, that I love things to be beautiful and detail oriented. And because luxury, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, means intention. And intention is incredibly important with beauty. And so when you feel around you like your home has intention, you're more creative, you're more fun, you're more spontaneous, you're more in love. Where if your home and space has, no offense, like maybe like some cheap IKEA furniture that you assembled like terribly, I don't know. I do. There's like there's not really that intention behind it. Where if you like bought something from a local craftsman, or you bought something that really made you feel that vibration of beauty and radiance, because beauty and manifestation goes hand in hand. And beauty doesn't mean that you have to spend money. You can actually go around and change things up. You could clean things, you could find things, you could go to the thrift store to enhance your outer realm so that your inner realm can feel calm, can feel supported, can feel loved.
Actually, I love that you just mentioned that thrift shopping for luxury. One of my friends, Angela Sumner, she actually has like her own shop where online she goes to different thrift shops and then she picks up these amazing luxury items and then she sells them. And yeah, of course, I want some of the things that she finds too. I actually have some things on the way. And yeah, luxury doesn't have to be expensive, but
Mm-hmm.
I do find it needs to be like very clean. It needs to be in alignment with some of your values. So I do have some different pieces of luxury around me that are within my lineage, and some plants that I like, some musical things that I like as well. But of course, products. And I'd probably say one of the most luxury things, a few of the most luxury things that I work with are going to be like my red light therapy and my gold roller and the DF mobile device, like, and using really good clean products. And what you said, you don't need to spend a lot of money to get luxury products either. And when you're putting your products on, just giving yourself that luxurious moment to appreciate the different contours of your face, your cheeks, your eyelids, your jawline, your neck, your lips, luxury with different adornment pieces you might wear, like jewelry. What's one of your favorite pieces of jewelry to wear?
I love earrings. I love me some earrings. And I love to get court crystals and some fancy things. But actually, I'm more into minimalism these days. So I would I didn't wear them right now because they were a little bit loud. But most of the time, I'll be wearing something like gold with clear quartz or something gorgeous. But this is what I love about luxury. And this is how you can tap into abundance. If you go to like a hotel, or just say you washed your sheets or something of like that gives you that touch, that smell, that whole experience. If you can actually grab your sheets and like smell them, or you're enjoying them, or you're like feeling like them against your skin, or you're feeling that sensory experience, what will happen is you will allow pleasure to come in. And pleasure is like the ultimate vibe lifter. Pleasure will actually manifest things more because it's literally telling the universe, I like this. I like clean sheets. I like this champagne. I like these fresh strawberries. Right now, I just had some really delicious raspberries. And I don't know, I'm like a little girl sometimes. I like to put them on my fingers, and then I eat them like one at a time. And that's a luxury, playful experience that taps you into the experience of life. And when you can do that more often, rather than just being hustle bustle on the grind, putting your heels down to the ground, trying to get somewhere, when you can actually take a moment, that's why they say like stop and smell the roses, like literally stop and smell them, enjoy them, worship them if you want, maybe cut one or two and put them in a little flower pot, and just like instantly your home will start to feel better, and you'll start to feel better. Because when you start to this is the thing. I think a lot of times we think magnetism magnetism is like a very hard thing to get or obtain, or you have to have all your ducks in a row, but it's actually not. You don't have to feel 100% good. It's just feeling present and intentional to the experience. And like you mentioned with luxury products, Rachel, you really taught me to connect with products, right? To know what they're all about, to know where they're from, to know what they're actually doing. It's not just fluff. It's just not marketing gimmicky stuff. Where I can buy a cleanser. Actually, I love that exfoliant thing you give me, that you always give me that. Okay. So that exfoliant thing is like super premium. I don't even know the name of it, but I'm sure Rachel will tell you the name of it. Whenever I dip my fingers into that thing, it feels like caviar. It feels like I am scrubbing and I am adorning my face, and I'm like, okay, old dead cells, please be gone. My new fresh version of me has appeared, and that it lightens up the day. It's the little things that make the big things.
Yes, the scrub that the fabulous Stefi Lane is referring to is the micro polish, and you can actually get this at rachelvarga.ca/store, or just send me an email, info@rachelvarga.ca, and I will send it directly to you. I love that you're making that connection between sloughing off the dead and the old and bringing in the new. That was really cute. I dig that. You also mentioned stopping and smelling the roses. And when I go for a walk, say with my best friend, we're out in nature, wild roses are in bloom right now. I'm literally stopping every 10 feet to smell the wild roses. It's like, this is what it's like going for a walk with myself, is I literally stop and smell all the roses.
Well, when you and I went on a walk, we started hugging trees. Remember that?
So that's very typical. Yeah. Now I'm just grabbing little sprigs of like the fresh pine needles as well.
Yeah.
And I'm actually just like chomping on stuff as I go along. And I love that. It's just like connecting to the beauty around you. And that's free, right? You don't have to spend a lot of money to live a luxurious, beautiful, radiant life.
Mm-hmm.
Just learn how to tune into the things around you, that basically, in a nutshell, whatever brings you joy.
And you know what? Also, this is a super plug for your product, but I used to buy back in the day, like the Neutrogena, that crap, the CoverGirl, all that stuff, right? It's super bright, it's super gimmicky, and that Neutrogena stuff. It's got like or vino, and it's claiming to be holistic, but it's a bunch of crap.
It's full of toxins as well.
It's full of toxins. Okay. Yeah. Full of toxins, probably tons of water. And so something is simple. This is very, very simple. And I love to explain this, but when you put that in your shower, for example, that big old Neutrogena or that Procter & Gamble logo that they have. Procter & Gamble is not necessarily the greatest company, by the way. They do a lot of products that are not so great. So you are literally having something that is mass produced, not really tailored to you, not really, it's feeling like you're part of this mass production, where when I have something that's customized to me, my products, my thing, the thing that, and it's just say it's white or it's clean labeling and it's not too like yellow. It feels like my life is a spa. It feels like my experience. I'm really into mysticism right now. And it feels like I get to lean back and I get to live with peace, because life can be freaking hard and life can be a lot of things coming at you, a lot of darkness, a lot of trials. But if you can come back and find peace within yourself, and then you feel that radiance, because peace emits radiance, radiance emits magnetism, magnetism radiates manifestation, then you have something there.
You actually mentioned something called white labeling. And I've been looking into formulating my own stuff for a long time. And I got to tell you, there is quite the shadow side of the white labeling beauty product industry. You can literally pay a manufacturer a fee, and then they will basically take the same Neutrogena formula that's on the shelf, and you can put your own name on it, and then you can sell it for like 200 bucks. This happens probably more than people realize. So I would never do that, just so you know. But there's
I meant like a white label, like not like a white label, but not white labeling. I guess I get it.
Yeah. But so many people don't know that. They don't know that they could be getting they could be paying 200 bucks for something that's literally the same $8 formulation you get on the drugstore shelves.
Like an influencer that says, hey, my product is this. And then it's really actually.
Or even like a clinic selling their own skincare line. Like even from like a quote unquote reputable source. A lot of people do white labeling. This is something I'm really not a fan of at all and would never do. But word to the wise, you got to really do your research on who you're supporting and what their values are.
And that means that they're not formulating their own stuff, right?
That's right. They're just basically finding a product that is quote unquote well tolerated, that they can buy 10,000 SKUs of, throw their own label on it, and then sell it. And this happens all the time. And so you have been warned. So stick with me. I would never do that to you guys. I'll keep you guys on the straight and narrow and make sure that you guys are always getting the best of the best. All right. Stefi, I come to you when I need some guidance with my messaging, my marketing, how to reach my clients, create meaningful connections, and really share meaningful information. And with that, we're kind of in the hyper masculine phase when we're getting ish done. But how can we be feminine in our daily living, but also masculine in the get ish done mode? So this is kind of like the goddess versus the badass. How do we balance this out?
Yeah, the goddess versus the badass. This is quite a tug of war for a lot of people, but it's actually not that hard when you think of it as the art dictates the strategy. So not the strategy dictates the art. A lot of times we're like, let's strategize, but let me think about this. Let me get this done. And anytime I've done it from that, I've actually been overwhelmed, overworked, frustrated, angry, super exhausted, and burnt out. Where the art of, just say you wanted to create a beautiful YouTube video. Okay. You wanted to create a beautiful, right now, a beautiful YouTube video. So then you could, instead of you being like, okay, what's a thumbnail going to look like? What's the title going to be? How is SEO going to rank? All those things that are very important, but actually need to take a back seat first, because the art dictates the strategy. So you lean back and you say, okay, how is this wanting to feel? Intention, right? Intentionality is so important. How do I want this to feel? How do I want to connect? What's the truth here in this video? So I have this really beautiful video that's like had like 10,000 views on YouTube, and it's called the Feminine Goddess Affirmations. And I'll make sure to link it so I share it with you. But I spent a whole day creating that video. I wrote those affirmations. I felt into the message. I felt into everything. And then I recorded it and I put the things together. And then I added the strategy. I didn't know that video was going to be quote unquote viral. I didn't understand. I didn't know, but I knew that I wanted to. And I felt that pull. And that's the feminine. The feminine is this pull where the masculine can be a little bit of a more push. And nothing's wrong with that, but you need to understand the push and the pull. So the goddess is like, okay, I'm open, I'm receiving what is here. The baddest is like, oh, I got it, I know it. Let me figure out the strategy. Yeah, let me write down the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, and let me make this happen. Because if you tend to lean on one versus the other, so the goddess, tends to not get anything done if you're too much in it, and then the badass tends to be way too masculine, doing too much work and being burnt out and resentful. So it's literally a harmony, but it's not a balance. I know I said balance, but I don't actually believe in balance. I'm one of those weird people that doesn't believe in balance.
It's not just you. I had JJ
Okay.
Virgin on the show a couple weeks ago, and she's like, I hate the word balance. And she
Yeah.
also, in the other time I interviewed her, JJ Virgin's like freaking health and wellness icon.
Yeah.
She cannot stand the word authentic as well. So what you said is in alignment with what she said. We're just always doing the best that we can to achieve.
Yeah. We always can. I love her. She's probably, we should be best friends. But I always do this motion with people. I think of it as a harmony, and it's like weaving in and out. So in the badass, when you're in that badass energy, sometimes I'll be working at like 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, and I'm in that badass energy because I'm ready to go. And it's like that fire where I used to make myself bad and wrong and say, oh no, that's too much work, Steph. You really should rest. And there's times for that. But if my badass is like, I really want to make this happen, go for it. Go do it.
Yeah, sometimes I just feel like I want to, bust out a couple sweet riffs on my Gibson. And usually it's rock and roll, a little bit of metal, a little bit of like Pink Floyd, Mark Knopfler, Dire Straits kind of style. But then sometimes I'll play on the acoustic, and it's very like Jack Johnson. Literally, I will lullaby my dear husband to sleep while he is reading.
Well, I do want to add also with workouts. So for me, like sometimes my workout will be like dancing and yoga and meditation. I did yoga and meditation for 3 years, and it was really actually not good for me because I needed the badass. I needed that that strength. Now I do kettlebell workouts. I'm doing strength trainings. I want to get a trainer to do barbells because I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make it happen. And then I can be like, all right, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling magnetic.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us battle with this, the ladies and the gents, everybody in between, right? When we're kind of in that like hyper masculine, let's get ish done in the entrepreneurial business space, family life, all of that, we can be hyper masculine. And the problem I'm seeing with women is that we can only be that way for a certain period until it starts to affect our periods, right? So for me, I'm like hyper feminine with all this like beauty stuff, radiance, these, high vibe conversations. And then sometimes I just got to let that, super masculine stuff roar. And I'm not really kind of in the middle. I feel like I'm like really on the end of the spectrums there, which isn't always good. So when you are in that professional space of you're working, you're grinding it out as say an entrepreneur, so many of us are working online now. We have to make sure we're taking the time to be in that feminine state. So reading like a book that tickles your fancy or catches your eye, or making sure you're maybe doing your dermal rolling that night, or doing a nice mask, draw yourself a nice bath with your red light therapy and Epsom salts. Those are great ways to achieve a little bit more harmony. What other things do you like to do? I know you like to dance a lot too.
Yeah, I like to dance. I like to listen to a lot of music. Music's definitely an activator for me. But what feels best is, so this is kind of mastery stuff. This is pretty advanced stuff, but I want to share it with y'all. I'm in Texas now, so I say y'all. It is to see what is motivating you at that moment. And And so it's being honest with yourself. For example, I had a project that I needed to give to a client, and I was supposed to give it to her 2 weeks ago. I was not feeling inspired. I was not, but integrity, right? I'm supposed to deliver. I'm supposed to give it to her. So I told her, hey, I promise you the training will come. Please give me, I was traveling at the time. Please give me a moment and I will make sure to fulfill my promise. Cause I promise this, I'm going to be in integrity. And that's in the masculine. The masculine is in integrity. The masculine is showing up on time and doing the things, where my feminine was like, I don't want to do it. I just want to play. I just want to be in my meditation. So I felt into it today, and it literally said, today is the day you're creating the training. And so I could feel other things wanting to get my attention. My husband wanted my attention, emails wanted my attention, all these things. But I was like, no, masculine up. I have to be in integrity, and I feel pulled to create this training. I created the training for my client. It was absolutely beautiful and amazing, and it felt super aligned, and it felt good, and it didn't feel like I was giving her fluff. And I know that me giving it to her now, 2 weeks later, actually is going to be more impactful for her.
Yeah, I agree. If I'm not in the mood to do something, I do not do it, because when you're not in the right space, working with your clients, creating content, it's not going to turn out well. And when we take the time to like really be in how we feel in the moment, and when we live that way, we aren't going to burn out. And trust me, I have friggin' pushed myself these last few years. I kid you not, but I have never burnt out, even through a number of different issues that have happened to me. You have to learn how to really incorporate both the masculine and feminine. I feel like the masculine energy lately, over the last kind of year and a half, I don't. This is a whole other topic, but I feel like the women have really been like the mama bear warriors, and I feel like we're kind of like really needing our masculines to kind of step up a little bit. And I hear this a lot with a lot of my friends and colleagues that I'm speaking to. But we have to make sure that we are self-reliant on ourselves, and we can count on ourselves to give ourselves what we need. So tell us about things like embodiment and feminine movement for beauty.
Yeah. And just to address that really beautiful nugget that you just did, something that, because the masculine is definitely going through a portal right now. They're going through a massive upgrade and change and shadow and everything. But what I have found through my own evolution with the masculine and with my husband is the masculine needs your feminine radiance and needs your feminine safety. And for you to feel safe in your body, in your voice, and everything, then he can step out into that warrior god that you desire. But it, most of the time, it has to come from the woman first, right? We're the inviter. We invite, we initiate. And so when you initiate that, then the man can come through. So I
Not to
just wanted to say
mention,
that.
yeah, I mean, not to mention, we're like biologically the recipient, if you know what I
Biologically,
mean.
yes. The
Biologically.
recipient,
So we
invitation, open doors.
You got it. So we can't like push, because that hyper masculinity in women
Mm.
is not a good thing, and we are not meant to stay in that space. I really feel like when we are in that like go go go, our health is going to suffer, our hormones are going to suffer, our skin is going to suffer. So beauty and radiance is a lot less superficial than y'all might realize. And so to be in truly like this magnetic, radiant, high vibration state is the only way you're really going to come across as being beautiful and radiant. It will not happen in a rejuvenation procedure or using this expensive luxury product. It really
Mm.
comes from like the inner body, mind, spirit energy work. And yeah, I would
I love what you say. I love what you're saying here.
Thank you. And, last question. How can we be more beautiful and radiant in our marketing? Because this is really where you shine with you and your lovely husband, Andrew, in Design Hacker. And I've worked with you guys both for a number of years. I highly recommend that you reach out to Stefi Lane if you are considering like branding and marketing and things like that. But I'd love for you to answer this question. How can we be more beautiful and radiant in our marketing?
Yeah. I love marketing. Love it, love it, love it. But I don't like where it's been for a very long time. And how can you invite more beauty into your marketing? Because so a lot of times we think with beauty, it needs to be beautiful models. And I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is for you to tap into your artistry, for you to tap into your muse, for you to understand what's really there at that moment. And the beautiful thing about marketing is really it's just you telling a story. We were all storytellers long, long ago when we were sitting around by the fire. And so it's really telling the story of, hey, I have this amazing, incredible product here. And let me tell you a little bit of a story about it. And then you explain the story and people will feel connected or they'll be repelled, right? They'll either go forward, not repelled, but they'll either move forward or go back. And your marketing is your messaging. Your marketing is your videos. Your marketing is the way that you present yourself. It's your marketing is how you walk into a room. It's really all the things, because you want your marketing to do the work for you, because you can only do so much, and then eventually your marketing does it for you. But how to bring more beauty and radiance into your marketing? A couple of things: simplicity, three to five pillars of what you talk about, of what you communicate through your social channels, through your content. Obviously, I'm super multi-passionate, so I get it. You want to do it all, but you also do have the things that you particularly own. And then also tapping into what you're best at and then what you get paid for to be the best at. Because sometimes you'll hear people say, "Oh, I'm so passionate about it," but sometimes the passion won't pay the bills yet. I mean, I believe in it all. But like one of my Reiki healer. So my Reiki healer, she was like, "No one's going to pay for this. No one's going to pay for Reiki." This was a couple of years ago. All I'm doing is I'm putting my hands on people and that's it. And she started to get better. She started to hone in her craft. She started to understand that she was actually helping high performers tap into their energy field. And then she was realizing, wow, I'm actually getting people huge results by them tapping into their power. So now her whole marketing is like, I will help you tap into your power. And I work with high performers to tap into their power. So of course I'm like, sign me up. I want to work with you. And I only want to work with you because you understand where I want to be, where I want to go. And this is strictly through Instagram that she has communicated it. But radiant marketing is you understanding the self, the person, and the collective. So there's 3 different layers and you're speaking to those 3 different layers.
I love that. And I'd also add, anything that's going to help people be in a more high vibe state, right? When you're in a more high vibe state, you're going to be more beautiful and radiant. So showing off things that you do in your daily living to boost your health and your body, mind, spirit, energy. Those are all awesome things. So Stefi, tell us a little bit about how people can work with you, how they can find you. Just y'all, I completely endorse Stefi. I've been a client of Stefi's for a number of years.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, I absolutely love marketing messaging. So I just have a talent for it. It's one of my gifts. I know how to do it intuitively. I know how to do it strategically. And so if you want to book a magic marketing session with me, just message me and Rachel can give you my information as well. But what I really tap into is I do consider myself a divine feminine teacher at the core of everything. I am a marketing person and a businesswoman, but at the core, I'm a divine feminine teacher. And I'm here to help more women tap into their power, which is through their business, and to tap into their pleasure, because the pleasure is actually like the secret sauce. It's actually the secret sauce. Keep diving into the pleasure and you'll start to see your life unfold beautifully. And I have this 15-minute at-home divine feminine guided dance meditation. It's probably the best thing I've ever created. And it's called Seducing Your Pleasure. And it's a guided dance meditation. So you're not just going to be sitting there meditating like this. You're going to listen with wireless headphones and you're going to listen to my cues and you're going to move around. I have really inspirational music and you'll start to feel things shift. feel things move, see where you're playing small and how you can play bigger. And dance embodiment is one of my favorite ways to manifest, because it is me tapping into beauty in my body and looking at myself in the mirror, or not even looking at myself in the mirror, but me tapping into beauty of the movement of my body, and therefore realizing that everything I want is already within me because I am the creator. And by me moving my body, I'm tapping into creation and manifestation.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing all of that. And not to mention, dance is going to move around your lymphatics and be helpful for all sorts of good things. And for me, I get that with music, right? I'll sometimes put my strap on and rock out a little bit and move around and make some sweet tunes. Maybe I should do a little live session one of these days.
Yeah, you should. Do you have a stage name? Alter ego?
I do, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be in a couple punk rock bands when I was growing up, but it was all very wholesome. Trust me, it was a lot of fun.
I could see you dyeing your hair pink one side.
No, don't tempt me. All right, Stefi, it's just been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I'm grateful for each and every one of you tuning in here on today's recording on the Rachel Varga podcast. Be sure to follow at Rachel Varga Official on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and hit the bell on Facebook and YouTube so you know when new videos are out, and also when you can hop on live as well and learn all things about how to work with me at rachelvarga.ca. Book your one-on-one with me, and I will help you really kind of streamline, maximize what you're doing at home with your products so that you're not, unfortunately, getting lured into things like white label products that are just going to be, potentially even exposing your body to harmful toxins. So I'm here. I'm willing to help everybody who wants to raise their vibration and all of that, increase their beauty and radiance through healthy skin practices. Have an awesome day, everybody. Thanks, Stefi, for joining us.